The Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, Monday said he has no plan to impeach his deputy, Comrade Philip Shaibu, even though Shaibu has gone to seek a court order to stop his purported impeachment by the governor. As the crisis between the governor and his deputy deepens, leaders of the senatorial zone of the state deputy governor, Philip Shaibu, decided to distance themselves from the crisis while pledging their loyalty to the governor. And of course, joining us to have this conversation is our guest, who is joining us currently right about now via a phone call in the person of Mr. Matthew Oloko, a public affairs analyst. Mr. Matthew, good morning and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, so talk to us about the feud going on between the governor and his deputy.
I think to start with, it's not unexpected because it is through the history of relationships between governors and their deputies since the inception of this national democracy in 1999. You understand that almost all the governors, their relationship with their deputies don't normally end well. And in this particular case, one would have expected that they will have crisis even before now. Because in most cases, you have situations where the governor will be the one that determines his deputy on the basis of loyalty. But the case of Edo State Governor and the deputy is a marriage of convenience. It has been done by the former leader of the party, or rather by the former leader of the state, who is now in APC. And I'm talking about Senator Oshobele. Because at the time, both of them emerged as governor and deputy, they were under the Oshobele was the leader. And it's understandable that Oshobele, being somebody from Edo North Senatorial District, is the one that influenced his kinsman, of course, that's from the same local government, as the deputy governor. So it's not surprising seeing that the election has gone sour. But again, I think, I think interest is at the root of what is happening. Because we trace the history of that state, just like any other state, Edo State has 3 senatorial districts. And in most states, it is often the same procedure in deciding who is the state. It is always repeated among the 3 geopolitical, senatorial districts, the governorship position. So in fairness to Obaseki, for what I'm seeing, it looks as if because the zoning arrangement may not favor Edo North, where Shaibu, the deputy, comes from. That may be the reason Shaibu is having that frosty relationship with his boss. Because I understand that if you look at in 1999, you understand that Edo South had the position of the governor when we had the era of Lucky Benin. After that, we went to Delta Central, where you had Osubo. But he did not stay long. I think about 6 months or so, he was served by court, and Oshobele took over from Edo North. So invariably, Edo North have occupied that position for 8 years. Edo South have occupied for 8 years. And Edo Central have only occupied that position for just about 6 months. And if you look at the composition of the senatorial districts, the Edo South happens to have more local government with about 8 local governments, while the Edo North, where the deputy hails from, has about 7 local governments. Edo Central is having about 5 local governments. But the argument is, I think what the governor is looking at is for purpose of fairness, equity, and cohesion within the state, that is honorable and wise, that Edo North haven't gotten their fair share, Edo South haven't gotten their fair share, that it's understandable that Edo Central to have a shot at the governorship or position, of the governorship position. And I believe that may not have gone well with the deputy governor because of his ambitions. Because we understand that he is saying he's doing consultation up to now. He has not concluded his consultation. But to be quite honest with you, I think what is at the root of their misunderstanding is interest. Even if the Speaker of the Edo State Assembly has said there is no plan to kill the governor, I don't think the governor will rush to court to secure a court order or rather an injunction to stop the impeachment. So for me, I think that situation would have been better managed from both sides. That's what I see.
Like they say, there is no smoke without a fire, which of course means that we already understand that there's a feud going on between the duos. And yet the governor still comes out and claims that there are no plans of impeachment against his deputy, in as much as his deputy in the person of Philip Shaibu has gone to court to seek an injunction to stop the purported plan. What's your view about that?
My view is that if you trace the history of Nigerian democracy, at least from this our nascent democracy from 1999, you agree with me that it is practically almost impossible for a deputy governor to survive a impeachment move by the governor. So all you are seeing may be initial somebody not going down without a fight, but eventually if the governor is interested and is want to unseat him, the governor always have his way. It has always happened like that. You can look at all the states across board where governor was removed. The deputy governor was removed. The governor must be involved in the removal. The governor must be the one that spearheads it. So, except otherwise, the governor is not interested in influencing his impeachment. I understand that naturally the legislative arm of government is supposed to be a different arm of government, but unfortunately, the Nigerian system is always at the win and cattle seat of the governor. I don't think as we speak today, whether any allegation of gross misconduct has been levied against him. I understand that the council process, we need to notify him and appoint, I think, the chief justice of the state to investigate the allegation. I think we call it as a period of 3 months, which includes to serve in the impeachment notice and all that. But again, I don't want to preempt since the governor, or rather the House of Assembly, have said there is no such need. I don't want to put it on them that such exists.
Now, looking at the fact that something similar happened in the past, especially when we had the governor of Edo State in the person of Adams Oshomole, where issue that has to do with disloyalty was perceived from his deputy. Are we likely to see anything close to that happening in this case, especially with that of the Governor Obaseki and his deputy? Could this be linked to disloyalty? And of course, can we likely conclude at this point that this is godfatherism at play in a situation where the governor is trying to impose his wishes on the deputy?
The truth is, as a deputy governor, as a Nigerian that is qualified to contest the election, I think it's within his right to decide to contest. There's no argument about that. But the issue is, it's not about whether godfather or not. I think what is playing out is purely interest. Interest, they say, is permanent in politics. And they will say that there's no permanent enemy, there's no permanent friend. It depends on how you want to articulate your interest. You can jump from one political party to another. I think that speculation out there anyway, that the deputy governor may be planning to defect to his former party, APC.